wanted to thank you guys for taking time to speak with me today.
You as well,
man.
man.
Yeah,
Thank
of
you.
course. Thank you for asking us.
I wanted to ask about the process for Sent to Kill. How long did it take to put the material together?
I guess we started recording. What was it? It was like late January, early February is when we started laying down. We started with drums first. We actually did go to a studio to do all the drum tracks, and then after those were done, we did everything else in my house. We just did a day for bass, day for each guitar, and then a day for the solos, and then we did the vocals over a couple days. We finished recording probably around like May, and then I did all the mixing and just was working on that for the next few months, and kind of just started with the first single we dropped, Manic Torture. Just started with that one, then did Up from the Graves next, and just finished everything else up before the full album was released in late August.
Yeah, I feel like it was a really rewarding process to record in not only a studio, but just, do a whole DIY recording of the album, just because it was on our own terms, on our own time. And in terms of material, we had been writing stuff that's on Sent to Kill since last February when we formed.
Yeah.
And a couple of the songs were on the demo, but we felt they should be included on the album just to give them more polished versions.
And I wanted to ask you, you have such a classic sound. I wanted to ask, what were some of the influences that influenced your sound?
A lot of Venom.
A lot of Venom.
Definitely Venom.
Motorhead.
Early Sodom. I know for me personally, I fuck heavy with Midnight.
Midnight's also one of our biggest influences.
And I wanted to also ask you about the song Metal Marauders. It's one of my favorite tracks on the album. I wanted to ask you to speak on it.
That one, I wrote that main riff, and we lived in an apartment together last year, and I was like, listen to this thing that I wrote. And then like a week later, I was like, I hate it. I hate that riff. And then I was like, I mean, if you all like it, we can keep going. And then they kind of just took the riff and made it into a really good song. It's one of my favorites now, especially with the harmony part towards the end.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun to play.
Yeah.
And this guy wrote all the lyrics for it.
I did write all the lyrics for it.
The process of putting that song together was a lot of fun because, like, all right, what else can we add to this to make it sound even more old school and more catchy and stuff like that? So yeah, I feel like all the harmony section is one of my favorites on the album. It's a really fun closer.
And also another one of my favorite tracks on there is Subjected to Agony. I really dig the riff in that track.
Thank you.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
That was a song that Tom was out of town. So Sam, Luke, and I were just kind of holed up in one of our dorms, just trying to write new material, and we came up with Subjected. And funny thing, before we had it even recorded, probably a year earlier, it sounded completely different. It was way slower. It was probably 2 minutes, longer. And we weren't the biggest fans of it, but when we came back to our campus last year, we kind of cut the fat off of it, made it faster, and now it's definitely one of our favorites. I mean, whenever we're putting together a set list, we always make sure it's towards the top.
Another thing I love about the album that we have to discuss is the artwork for the album cover.
Yeah.
It's definitely a classic feel. Who's responsible for the artwork?
Our friend Naomi Miles drew it. We kind of wanted it to look like a comic book. We figured that would be kind of cool. But now I see a ton of bands doing comic book artwork now, which I think is pretty cool and fun. We had a lot of ideas for it. We didn't really know what we wanted to go with, but I can't remember which one of us suggested the idea. We were like, it would be awesome if we just had somebody getting split down the middle, sawed right in half on the front.
Yeah.
Because that song, Total Fucking Bloodbath, is inspired by the first Terrifier movie, where like the girl gets like sawed down with the chainsaw. And so we were like, we could put that on the front. Could be pretty fun. Ended up looking cool, I think.
We were kind of going for that like old school like horror comic.
Yeah, like the EC comics from the 50s and stuff like that. And I think how the process went, we had a vague idea, like Tom said, of someone just getting a chainsaw down the middle, but we gave the lyrics, the entire lyric sheet to Naomi. It's just like, run wild with this idea,
Sure.
you know. And she came up with the most bitchin' design, and so she just knocked it out of the park.
And what's the next step for you guys? What can fans look for next?
Well, on Sunday we're opening up for Weed Eater at the Cobra here in Nashville, which that's gonna be a really fun show.
We got some new songs.
Yeah,
we got some new songs cooking.
We've been turning out a lot of new songs recently, and I think we're planning on doing like a 4 or 5 song EP early next year.
Yeah.
Very cool. And I wanted to ask you guys as well, when you're not working on music, what do you enjoy in your spare time?
Watching monster movies.
Me and him watch a lot of horror.
A lot of horror movies. Listening to music. For me, I just like focusing on other musical projects, whether that be other. I'm in 2 different bands, and I also like to think of like visual art designs, because I like to sketch sometimes. But I feel like a lot of what I do, I think about the band a lot, but it's nice to get away from it sometimes and kind of focus on other things.
And I wanted to ask you, you said this band hasn't been formed for very long. How did it all come together?
Him and I were both in a band called Violent Void, my freshman year of college, his sophomore year. And we were in it for how long? Like 6 months?
Probably like
that.
5-6 months.
5-6 months. And we weren't really good for it. It kind of wasn't going anywhere while we were in it. They've since they're
doing cool stuff.
Yeah,
they're doing good
they
now.
They got some stuff out. They're doing shows now. But we just thought it would be fun to start a party thrash band, which we originally called ourselves Thrash and Roll, because the first couple songs we wrote were just like Midnight and Venom ripoffs. Don't tell anyone. But it was me, Luke, and our other friend Cameron. But Cameron moved back up to Northern Ohio, and then Luke's brother Sam joined us, and we've been ripping ever since.
Yeah. Our first show was actually on our college campus in this little metal gazebo they had right outside our dorm. So we put up these flyers without the campus's consent, because you have to clear all flyers with the whoever the powers may be.
Sure.
So we slid them under office doors. We littered the calf with them.
Yeah, we were dropping them on tables everywhere. We put them on the first floor and then went up to the second floor and put them around on tables. We came back down and
all of them were in the trash.
All in the trash when we came down.
Wow.
But yeah, that first show was really fun. It was our only show we played with Cameron, but we are so thankful Cameron even joined in the first place, because he helped us write those first few songs.
Yeah.
And he's still a very close friend of ours. We love him.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask you, what's the best way to get a physical copy of the album and any merchandise that you have?
At our shows, we're always selling merch. But we are also selling a few tapes to Dead End Records here in Nashville. So we're gonna be a few CD copies and tape copies at that record store. But yeah, probably best way to get them, definitely either reach out to us on social media or come to a show.
Well, I'm gonna throw them up onto our Bandcamp.
Oh yeah, and
so
Bandcamp.
That people can order them, and I can ship them out to anybody who is out of town who like to get a piece of merchandise.
And as far as doing gigs, are you planning on working your way up north? Maybe up my way to Ohio?
Definitely. We're going on a short little run at the very beginning of November. We're hitting Louisville and maybe Evansville, Indiana. We're not sure, but I'm from Cincinnati, so I'd really love to play up there sometime.
Yeah, we're always looking to branch out.
Yeah. Play new places.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd like to get to that point eventually.
Exactly.
We're working our way to it.
Yeah.
I definitely think you're on a good path to it. This album really shows a great classic feel and great classic style. It's one I go to again and again because I just enjoy the flow of it all.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And lastly, I wanted to ask each of you, if you had any messages for your fans, what would that message be?
Keep rocking and rolling forever.
Yeah.
And don't let anybody tell you to not rock and roll.
Exactly.
Because I'll kill them.
Just do things the way that you want to do them, and don't let other people control them. Like with this, like we got to do it all ourselves, make all the decisions, and that was really for the best. We didn't want any outside influences. We just wanted to do it our way. And so to anybody out there who's aspiring to make music or start a band or anything like that, just don't let anybody else influence you. Just do things the way that you want to do them.
Exactly. Yeah. And also, I want to say thank you to all our fans. It's such a pleasure to make this music, and nothing happens without them. They're Savage Tag fans are truly the greatest. So yeah. And anyone who's ever come to a show, streamed our demo or our album, bought merch, whatever it may be, we are super appreciative of all of that.
Yeah, I was also gonna say that. I was gonna say I would thank everyone who comes to our shows, because this is music, and this is music I'm really passionate about. So when I'm playing the songs that I helped write and I love so much, and like people say like, hey, I really fucked with your songs and your sounds. That means a lot. So
Yeah.
I would thank them for
And also
listening to us.
Also, just all the bands and promoters around here who have given us all the great opportunities that we've gotten so far. We've gotten a lot of great opportunities to open for bigger bands and just play on shows with really great lineups. And we just want to thank everybody who's given us a chance to show what we got.
Yeah, we're extremely grateful for all the opportunities that have been afforded to us.
Well, I wanted to take a moment to thank you personally for creating an album that I enjoyed from top to bottom. I look forward to what lies ahead for you. And thank you for taking time to speak with me today. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you guys today.
It was well. Thank you
man.
for inviting
Thank
us.
you.
Yeah, thank you a lot.
Please feel free to update me at any time with any new news as it comes about, my friends.
Absolutely.
Of course,
man.
Yeah.
Of course. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, my friends. And you have
All
a
right,
great
thank
rest
you,
of your day.
Thank you.
Thanks
You too.
again.
You have a good one.
Take care, man.
Take care.
Take care.